afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. And we are live today. This is not taped, so there ain't no telling what you might hear in the background or happen. So sometimes the delivery people will come in and walk in, and people will say, I heard a noise. What was that? They'll text me, but there ain't no telling. We are live.
We are.
These aren't taped. So we are coming to you live and in color on this beautiful, hot Tuesday afternoon. We're going to be back in 1 Peter chapter 3 again, where we was yesterday. And we start at verse 8. It says, finally, all you should be one mind, sympathize with each other, love each other as brothers and sisters, be tenderhearted, keep a humble attitude, don't repay evil for evil, don't retaliate with insults when people insult you, instead pay them back with a blessing. That is what God has called you to do, and he will bless you for it. And that's what I'll talk about today, about how God blesses us, and then notice that it's God's called us to do it. Your flesh, when we are insulted, we'll want to insult back. That's just, it's hard to. We talked about this a little bit last night in Cowboy Church and had some good discussions, like not just on this, but about other things. You can go back and watch that on Facebook if you missed it.
A good discussion.
And we did.
Last night.
We had some good input from the folks in the crowd, from everybody, male and female, and I would appreciate that. What I want to talk about today is when our flesh or our emotions want to take over, how do we keep them in check? And because all of us battle it, some are better than others, but sometimes we do have to bite our tongue, so to speak, or literally actually bite our tongue in that. But it said instead pay him back with a blessing, because that's what God has called you to do. And what helps me, and it says he'll bless you for it, is knowing that God has called me to do it. It's not something that I may want to do, feel like doing, feel led to do, but it's not about the lead, it's about meeting the need. And God says we need to do this because I've called you to do it. So what's some things that help you, Kelly, when people are insult? We want to retaliate back with insults, but instead we pay them back with the blessing. And that's not the old Southern, well, bless your little pea-picking heart type deal, like people are dumb. But what's something that you do?
I had an instance yesterday where it was not a good thing, but I just looked at the person and said, I love you too much to stand here and argue. And I had to walk away. Again, it's about loving someone enough to know that they're in a bad place at that moment. Because usually when somebody bites at you, it's because they're hurt, and hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes we just need to say, I love you too much to let you do this, and I'm just going to walk away, and I'll come back at another time and we can discuss it or whatever. But it's just knowing when to be quiet and knowing when to just say, I love you, and I'm going to walk away.
And that's what it said up there. It said, love each other as brothers and sisters. Sometimes it may be our family. It may be our actual kin, brother, sister, mother, father, cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever. But it says, but it goes back to if we're tenderhearted and keep a humble attitude. And we all like grace. We like God's grace and thank God for his grace. But also we need to show it sometimes, because Kelly's right. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people snap. They're having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, a bad year, maybe a bad life they think that they've had. But it said, but we pay them back with the blessing, and that's just like sometimes that blessing is we just keep our mouth shut and we walk away. And they're blessed because we didn't retaliate and smoke them upside the head or whatever it is. Because nobody wins from that.
And we don't realize how much words hurt. Mm-hmm. Words hurt almost more than a physical hit a lot of times, because those words just continue to move on and move on. And if somebody hits you, it's going to hurt for a little bit, but eventually that pain's going to go away. But those words spoken don't go away. You keep, living them over and over and thinking it over and over. Again. So I think that's the one thing that we need to realize too, is our words hurt. And misery loves company. If somebody's miserable, they're going to try and make you miserable. And you have to let them not do that and let the joy of the Lord be your strength and walk away.
Right. And I used to tell my kids all the time, if someone posts or say something, just ignore it, because if you don't say anything back, they lose their power to try to goad you into a fight, lead you into a fight. And it's hard. It's hard for me. Some people are better at others, but also you need to remember an insult is not an assault. If someone's trying to physically actually harm you, God didn't expect you to lay there and take a beating. Jesus did that, so he didn't have to for sin. But we're not talking about sin here. We're talking about physical protection of our physical bodies. And a lot of Christians struggle with that. Well, is God okay with me protecting myself or my family? Right. Well, the Bible teaches us if you don't take care of your immediate family, you're worse than an unbeliever. And that's not just putting clothes on their back or food in their bellies. So there's a lot to this. But as we go through life, if we'll keep a humble attitude, if we'll love each other and keep that agape love in there, and we don't look for ways to repay evil with evil, and only proven in the physical evil of the world to stop a physical evil person is a good person. That's
right.
just with that. But we're talking about spiritual evil here, is what Peter was talking about. People that are making fun of Christians and laughing at them, jeering at them, and all that for they believe. Because, he tells us later on over here that if we'll worship Christ as Lord of our life, and someone asks us about why we have this hope, that we need to be ready to explain it, but do it gentle and respectful. And in the church today, we've lost a lot of that. This ongoing pandemic, the political division in our nation has been going on for a long time. It just didn't happen with Joe Biden. It just didn't happen with Donald Trump. It didn't just happen with Barack Obama. It's been there for a while. But each presidential term, as we've changed presidents, it's gotten deeper and deeper and deeper. But how do we bring all that together? We go back doing what the Bible says.
Yes.
We line up with the Word of God. So God bless y'all.
We got to love each other. That's something that we're just so lacking in this.
And that's the
time
mark,
of
I
our
believe,
lives.
and I've said this many times. If God branded us, He wouldn't brand us with a cross,
No.
a fish symbol. He'd brand us with love.
Yes, He will.
Because God is love, and that's the thing that changes us and keeps us in check, keeps us doing the will of God. Because Jesus said, if you love me, obey me. And don't get off into all this other stuff that so many of God's people are getting into. And just do what this says. If you'll follow this, I promise you, you'll make a difference in the world that we live in. This world is going to continue to go from bad to worse. It's not going to get better. Everybody says, oh, Lord, pray it'll get better. Guys, we ain't getting no better in the world. The world is going to continue to get worse. But what needs to get better is us. The darker it gets, the brighter we shine. The more tumultuous and all the war and rumors of war and all that Jesus said is coming, happens in the world, we speak peace. We speak grace. We speak unity. We speak love. We show love. And if we'll do that, that's how we counteract all these things that's going on in the world today that's going to continue to get worse and worse. But we don't have to. We're going to be fine.
Yes.
Remember, it's faith over fear and
Yes.
Christ over crisis, and overwhelming victory is ours through Christ who loved us. So God bless y'all. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, our K through 5th graders will be in here. We'll be feeding them, running the vans. All that be rolling on this next week. Our junior high and senior high youth will be in here at 7. Adult Bible study at 7 in the main building. Our kids will be over in the multi-purpose building. So adults, we'd love to see you. Tomorrow night we're in the book of Acts. We're talking about going through that. Not every verse, but most of them we're going to go through here the first few chapters. So God bless you. If you need us, holler at us, 918-399-5956. We have had some folks calling about the range. Our range is by appointment only. If you'll call the church at 399-5956 and we can set an appointment, one of our range safety officers has to be there. It's not open to the public.
No.
It is by appointment only, so you can call about more information for that. I know we've had some people calling about that, so just call the church office. If you don't get us, leave a message or text it, and we'll get it picked up. We don't always, we're outside. We've been picking up trash and stuff from the Freedom, about said the community Easter service. I'm way off the Freedom Celebration.
We didn't do a community
no,
Easter, but we.
No, but so again, thank everybody that come to that, helped out with that,
Yes,
helped
thank
out
you
with the
so
Bible
much.
school
It was the
again.
best
Good
show
time.
we've had.
So we appreciate that greatly. So God bless y'all. Have a great Tuesday. Again, you need us, holler at us. Thank you to all of our sponsors. They've been scrolling. Is that still scrolling, Colin?
Yes.
We're still doing so. Our sponsors are scrolling across the screen. We appreciate and thank for each and every one of them. So God bless y'all. Have a great, great Tuesday.